Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Mary Lauren Burdeshaw.
And I'm AJ Revera.
Auburn University reported 13 new COVID-19 cases on campus for the week of March 1st. This is 3 less than the 16 reported the week prior. In addition, Auburn's sentinel testing program tested 571 people and recorded 0 positive cases in those tested. Lee County has now recorded a number of 8,456 confirmed COVID cases with 100 confirmed deaths. If you think you have been exposed to COVID-19, please self-report to the Auburn University Medical Clinic or on Auburn's COVID Resource Center.
In a random drawing of sentinel testing participants, Auburn men's basketball coach Bruce Pearl selected the winner of a basketball he signed as a way to thank those who were tested for COVID-19 through the sentinel testing program.
Today, I'm giving away a personalized basketball to a randomly selected individual who has participated in the first 6 weeks of Auburn University's sentinel testing program. The winner is Jewel Criggs. Congratulations. For more prizes and incentives, I strongly encourage you to participate in the sentinel testing program. If selected, sentinel testing allows us to take a snapshot of campus health, making informed decisions to keep you healthy, and it provides an opportunity for students and employees to live out the human touch and show their care for the Auburn family. War Eagle.
Auburn University's student involvement is looking to expand its staff team. Student involvement helps students get involved with organizations and help clubs get off the ground. Student involvement puts on webinars several times a semester and visits classrooms to engage involvement. Applications are open now and close March 19th. To learn more about the student worker and involvement position, visit aub.ie/ia-app. Starting March 29th and running through April 2nd, this year's Auburn Research Student Symposium will be taking place online. The unique venue offers students an opportunity to showcase their research and creative scholarship to a broader audience. Instead of typical live presentations, podium presentations will be delivered live via Zoom, and poster presentations will be pre-recorded with opportunities for feedback and interactions provided. Over 350 student presentations across many disciplines are expected at this year's online symposium. Students also have the chance to compete for several awards with prizes ranging from $50 to $500. More information about the Student Symposium can be found at the Auburn Research Student Symposium website.
Auburn Facilities Management recently posted a full video time-lapse of the new Central Dining Hall construction, beginning with the demolition of Allison Laboratory in July 2019 up until February 2021. The time-lapse showcases about 20 months of work. The approximately $26 million Central Dining Hall, titled The Edge, is scheduled to open fall 2021 and offer a variety of dining options.
The Auburn University School of Forestry and Wildlife Sciences is commemorating its 75th anniversary with a year-long anniversary celebration, which began March 1st. On the topic of his school's important milestone, Dean Janaki Alavalapati said, "Our faculty and alumni have many reasons to be proud of the school's impactful legacy of advancing forestry, wildlife, and natural resources that extends well beyond the borders of our state." The school will showcase its alumni and significant teaching, research, and extension achievements with a series of virtual and in-person events throughout the year. In addition to putting on events, the school will publish a book chronicling Auburn's forestry and wildlife programs titled 75 Years of Forestry and Wildlife Sciences at Auburn University. For more information about the School of Forestry and Wildlife's milestone, visit the school's website online. When we come back, Auburn University's Tire Giving Day was a success, and 2 Auburn economics professors are suing Auburn admin. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. This year's Tiger Giving Day was an overwhelming success for Auburn University projects seeking additional funding. More than 5,100 donors gave to 40 projects that will benefit students, faculty, and surrounding communities. More than half of the projects met their funding goal by noon, and all featured projects met their goal before Tiger Giving Day 2021 came to an end. The project that garnered the most funding was the Together We Will Scholarship Fund. 134 donors raised $287,400 for the effort, by Auburn Athletics and the Office of Inclusion and Diversity to achieve a robust and diverse enrollment of students. All projects and their updates can be viewed at tigergiving.org.
Distribution of Johnson & Johnson's new coronavirus vaccine is ramping up, but many medical experts are urging cities and states to not roll back COVID-19 restrictions. That's because of the threat of all the new variants spreading around.
3, 2, 1, vaccinate.
Johnson & Johnson's vaccine just injected into American arms for the first time. But supply is a trickle, not a flood.
It's a fairly limited supply to begin, but later in the month, we think we start to see real numbers.
Merck will transform 2 facilities to manufacture the J&J vaccine in a deal President Biden is expected to announce this afternoon.
A lot to look forward to, but right now we're in a dire time potentially.
The average daily COVID-19 death toll was falling, not anymore. And average daily case counts now plateauing at about the level of last summer's surge.
This is a scary virus, and we already know that. We underestimate it at our peril.
A study of a surge in Manaus late last year found the variant first identified in Brazil was likely to blame and could more easily reinfect people who've already been infected. The research is not yet published.
Variants are starting to take over, and if they become dominant and we relax restrictions, I think we can absolutely see a huge spike.
Houston just became the first city in America to log cases of every major variant, but
It is now time to open Texas 100%.
meanwhile, Team Biden is still sticking to 2 doses within a month of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines.
Even though you can get a fair degree of, quote, protection after a single dose, it clearly is not durable.
But there's a ghost at the feast, the rump of Team Trump. The former Surgeon General today tweeting, "Good protection for many with 1 shot is better than great protection for a few." Later adding, "I'm not saying it's 100% the right way to go."
I think that he should park his Twitter fingers for a few minutes. The Trump administration has a lot to answer for with how their vaccine plan rolled out.
Alabama's state Senate has approved a bill that prevents transgender minors from getting treatment.
This new legislation would make it a felony for doctors to treat transgender minors with hormonal therapy. They also would not be allowed to give minors puberty blockers or perform surgery as a part of their transition. Supporters argue minors are not ready to make these kinds of decisions, but opponents say the decision should be left up to the minor, their parents, and a doctor.
All these kids have had something happened in their past that maybe led to this feeling, and like I said, the research shows that 85 to 90% of these kids grow out of this, mature, and don't want to continue.
The hormone treatments and blockers do happen. They are done under careful medical guidance with specialists and psychiatric care as well. So to make sure the children are well-rounded, getting all the help they need from all angles.
A year-long study led by Kelly Chalkowski, a doctoral student at Auburn School of Forestry and Wildlife Sciences, and Chris Lepchik, a professor in the School of Forestry and Wildlife Sciences, has brought up environmental and wildlife health concerns worldwide. The study centered on the spread of the parasite Toxoplasma gondii in Hawaii, spread by feral cats. This parasite can affect other animals and even cause neurological symptoms in humans. Chalkowski's study in Kauai, Hawaii found that 40% of chickens were infected with this parasite and that those same chickens were inhabiting places directly in contact with the public. According to Chalkowski and her team, T. gondii can be spread anywhere feral cats are located, and that the study in Hawaii is just the beginning of researching how it can impact the rest of the world. Chalkowski hopes that her study is just the beginning and will lead to more research guiding mitigation efforts preventing the spread of T. gondii.
Auburn University Provost Bill Hardgrave, former President Dr. Stephen Leaf, and 2 other administrators are being sued by 2 economics professors and former admin for their management of the economics department. Filings in the suit say that there was ongoing tension between members of the economics department and the school's administration over how much autonomy the economics department should have. Economics professors Alan Seals and Michael Stern are the two professor plaintiffs in the suit. Seals is suing over a decision to remove him from being the graduate program officer for the economics department, and Stern is suing on his own behalf. The university will not be a defendant in this case. When we come back, robocall numbers are up and the CDC released new guidelines for fully vaccinated people. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. If you feel like you've been receiving more spam calls lately, you aren't alone, according to the national robocall data.
Getting more robocalls again? You're not alone.
If you're feeling like you're getting more robocalls, it's because you are getting more robocalls.
New data from UMail, a robocall prevention service that tracks those calls across the U.S., says Americans received more than 4.6 billion robocalls in February, up 27% from January. But why? Point to the pandemic.
As we seem to be coming out of the pandemic, call centers are opening, and therefore there's more robocalls. And the reason for that is there's really no point to making a robocall unless the person on the other end is going to press 1 or call you back. And you need a person when they do that.
To avoid those unwanted calls, the FCC says don't answer calls from unknown numbers. Beware, caller ID showing a local number doesn't necessarily mean it's a local caller. If you do answer, don't respond to questions and don't hit a button if prompted to. Scammers often use this trick to identify potential targets. Never give out personal information. You can also talk to your phone company about call blocking tools they may have and check into apps that you can download to your mobile device to block unwanted calls. Finally, make sure your number is registered on the National Do Not Call Registry. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
President Biden signed an executive order Sunday aiming to expand voting access. The order directs the heads of all federal agencies to submit proposals for their respective agencies to promote voter registration and participation within 200 days. The move comes days after the House passed a sweeping ethics and election package that aimed at ensuring voting rights and striking down barriers to voting access. The bill, named H.R. 1, would bring about sweeping changes to U.S. voting law and is highly opposed by Republicans. It also had provisions expanding early and mail-in voting, restoring voting rights to former felons, and easing voter registration for eligible Americans.
A $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill was passed by Congress last week. The bill was approved by President Biden today and includes stimulus payments worth up to $1,400 to most Americans and a $300 weekly boost for jobless benefits until September. The bill had little Republican support as many Republicans criticized the scope of the relief package, claiming that, one, this extensive is unnecessarily as more vaccinations are being rolled out. The Senate passed the bill 50-49 entirely along party lines.
The CDC announced Monday new COVID-19 guidelines for those that have been fully vaccinated.
CDC recommends that fully vaccinated people can visit with other fully vaccinated people in small gatherings indoors without wearing masks or physical distancing. CDC recommends that fully vaccinated people can visit with unvaccinated people from one other household indoors without wearing masks or physical distancing, as long as the unvaccinated people and any unvaccinated members of their household are not at high risk for severe COVID-19 disease. CDC's new guidance also recommends that fully vaccinated people do not need quarantine or get tested following a known exposure to someone with COVID-19, as long as they are asymptomatic.
With the monumental COVID relief package set to be on his desk this week, President Biden will also be speaking to the public in a primetime address for the first time as president tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time. In honor of the one-year anniversary of the COVID-19 pandemic officially being declared, Biden will be remembering lives lost during the pandemic. There have now been over 520,000 COVID-19 deaths in the U.S.
The White House announced Wednesday that the Biden administration will be ordering 100 million additional doses of the Johnson & Johnson one-dose vaccine. The goal in doing so is to create a stockpile to protect against manufacturing disruptions or other COVID variants spreading rapidly. The U.S. has now ordered 200 million doses of the single-shot vaccination and 600 million doses of Moderna and Pfizer's two-dose vaccinations. Biden vows to have enough vaccines to deliver to all American adults by the end of May. When we return, Harrison Tarr has an Auburn sports update you won't want to miss. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Harrison Tarr, and tonight we have a recap of Auburn basketball's last game of the season, detail on baseball's Tuesday night road win, softball, and more. Auburn basketball finished off their season Saturday with a 78-71 win over Mississippi State. The win was Bruce Pearl's 600th career victory. Pearl commented on the accomplishment saying, "I'm grateful to my players, coaches, staff, managers, the athletic directors who have hired me and retained me, the fans for trusting me to lead their programs. I'm truly grateful, humble, and blessed. I keep scoring. 600 is a big number. 700 would be even better." Alan Flanagan led the pack for the Auburn, scoring 22 points, with 17 of those coming in the second half. Jalen Williams was close behind with 18. After missing 17 first-half three-pointers while making 6, the Tigers shot 5 of 10 from behind the arc in the second half, including Dylan Cardwell's first three-pointer with the shot clock expiring. With Sharif Cooper still out, Jamal Johnson played point guard and led Auburn with 4 three-pointers, scored 14 points, and racked up 7 assists. Pearl said, "It was really good to finish up winning 2 of our last 3, particularly winning these last 2 games at home against Tennessee and a good Mississippi State team." Pearl said, "Our guys continue to compete. We finished on a high note." The Tigers will not be participating in the postseason as they have implemented a self-imposed postseason ban. Auburn will miss this week's SEC tournament and will get back to work for a 5-week training period in the spring. Because of his strong performance this season, point guard Sharif Cooper was selected to the Southeastern Conference all-freshman team through voting by the Southeastern Conference coaches. Cooper is the 17th Tiger freshman to be named to the annual team and the 3rd under head coach Bruce Pearl, joining the likes of Isaac Okoro in 2020 and Mustafa Heron in 2017. In 12 games, the Powder Spring, Georgia native averaged a team-best 20.2 points and 8.1 assists per game, in addition to his 4.3 rebounds per tilt. Cooper scored or assisted on 471 of Auburn's 996 points when he was in the lineup. Another freshman star for the Tigers, Justin Powell, has announced he is transferring after just 1 season at Auburn. Powell played in just 10 games, averaging 11.7 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 4.7 assists, while shooting 44.2% from the three-point line. Powell also scored 26 points in back-to-back games against South Alabama and Memphis. Eagle Eye will update this story as new information emerges. In the world of baseball, Auburn pitchers Joseph Gonzalez and Hayden Mullins combined to record all 27 outs as the Tigers defeated UAB 6-5 Tuesday night at Regents Field. The young duo allowed just 3 hits and didn't issue a walk while striking out 15, which is the most in a game this season. "It was nice to see us come back in a ball game," head coach Butch Thompson said. "I thought after the 4th spot UAB put up in the 6th inning, we responded really well. We hadn't had too many opportunities to do that this year, and it was good to see from our offense." Rankin Whaley returned in a season-high 3 hits and reached base in all 5 plate appearances. It marked his 3rd multi-hit effort in the last 4 games. Ware went 2 for 2 with a pair of walks and scored and drove in a run. The Tigers returned to Plainsman Park to host Little Rock in a 3-game series starting Friday at 4 p.m. Softball's on a hot streak as freshman Shelby Lowe held Troy to just 2 singles as Auburn softball shut out Troy Wednesday night to extend the Tiger win streak to 11 straight games. Lowe held the Trojans hitless through 5 innings to record her 2nd complete game shutout of the season. The left-hander struck out 11 of the 22 batters she faced and allowed just 2 singles through 7 innings. Lowe is now 6-0 in the circle. McKenna Dowell led the Tigers at the plate with the 2-for-2 night with a home run, 2 RBIs, and a pair of walks. Michaela Packer also turned in a multi-hit night with 2 infield singles. The Tigers returned to J&B Moore Field to open Southeastern Conference play against number 4 Alabama. The 3-game series begins on Friday. First pitch scheduled for 5 p.m. Central Time. That's all we have for now, but for more Auburn sports, check out our website at eagleeyeauburn.com. I'm Harrison Tarr, and this has been your Eagle Eye Sports Update.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. Thursday, we will celebrate an icon from American history. It's National Johnny Appleseed Day. He may seem fictional, but he was a real guy. Born John Chapman in 1774, the nomad walked, often barefoot, across the nation and the frontier, planting trees and pears. March 11th is National Johnny Appleseed Day because it's during planting season. It's also celebrated on his birthday, September 26th. Fun fact, the apples he planted were too bitter to eat. Instead, they were used to make cider, a safe alternative to drinking water on the frontier. You can mark the day by enjoying an apple, cider, or hard cider, or post to social media with the hashtag National Johnny Appleseed Day.
Meet Pumpkin. This savvy 6-month-old pet of the week prides himself on his gorgeous orange coat and impeccable manners. He's a sucker for board games and would challenge you to a game of Yahtzee any night. Apply to adopt this sweet, altered, microchipped, vaccinated, FIV-negative kitty today.
We're out of time, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm Mary Lauren Burdeshaw.
And I'm AJ Revera. Thank you for watching, and War Eagle.